Hello, beautiful. And what I want to know is, what is really good in your life today? I'm Kia, and this is another episode of the Female Veterans Podcast. Today, I have with me an incredibly beautiful person. Her name is Jessica, and she's a female veteran, of course. She's also an ambassador for Pinup for Vets, which you know that I love. You guys remember Gina? She was on here. And she is an ambassador for American Trigger Pullers. Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm. And so she's going to tell you all about that stuff later on. But first, we're going to find out more about her and welcome her to the show. Welcome, Jessica.
Thank you so much from snowy Chicago.
Yeah, I lived in Chicago for a long time. I love it there, but it is cold. I don't miss the winter. I don't.
It was a cold snap. It was like 50s one day, and then literally now everybody's bundled up for the rest of the 6 months.
Wow.
So, like a mummy. It does.
Oh my gosh. I am so honored that you agreed to come and be a guest on the show. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm very excited. You do a lot of great things for female veterans, and I appreciate that. And it's really an honor to sit down and talk to you.
Thank you so much. So tell me, why did you join the military?
Okay. So basically, if you would have told me at 18 years old that I was going to join the military, I would have told you no way, no how, I didn't wear the same thing for an entire year. Like, no joke. I could not wear the same outfit in a row. It was ridiculous. But anyway, so I had a plan to go to college, went to college in Oklahoma for 2 years. And that's where the reason why I joined the military came in. So I had a brother who passed away about 7 years ago. His name was James. And he was, I'm not going to say this lightly, he was as close to a saint as anyone could ever imagine. He was funny, he was smart, he gave me great advice. But he was in a nursing home, and my mom said, hey, your brother's not doing very well at the end of my sophomore year. Maybe you should come home and go to college here, so you're here for the rest of the time he's alive. We always knew that he was going to die young. He had Friedreich's ataxia. He was in a wheelchair from the time he was 8. And went back from college, back to Cincinnati. And one day when I was in his nursing home, he looked at me very bluntly. It's like, Jess, you're not leading the life that you should be. I have a question for you. And I'm like, okay, what do you want, James? This is my older brother. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, what is it? Figuring he's going to, yell at me or something. He's like, well, I've always wanted to join the military. Obviously I can't. Will you join for me? I think it would be a great thing for you.
Oh my God.
And literally within, went to recruiter, was shipped off to basic training at Fort Jackson and the Army. Within 6 weeks, my recruiter didn't tell me anything, everybody gets lied to, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I joined the military because of my brother. He is now passed. And I can honestly say it is one of the proudest things I've ever done in my life, because not only was I able to serve my country with amazing people, but also honor him in that sense. And it actually ended up being that during I was deployed from 2011 to 2012. Before I left for deployment, I made a pact with my brother. I said, hey, I was like, I'm going to make it through this deployment if you're going to make it through this deployment. Like, you're not going to die on me. Well, came back from deployment. Obviously, I made it back. 3 months later, he died. So we stuck to that pact, but it is something that I'm forever grateful, because if my brother would have not asked me to join for him, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. And yeah, try not to cry.
Oh my gosh. Well, I have to tell you, I'm so sorry for your loss, but he does sound like the most amazing person.
Oh, and he was so sarcastic too. It was great. It was great.
That's awesome. I'm so glad that you could honor his memory and that, we can share your story and talk about him here on the podcast.
Yep.
It's amazing. I definitely understand where you're coming from. My mother, it was her dream to go into the service, and she didn't make it in. And I went in for her. So you and I have that in common.
Yes, we do. We have a lot in common.
We do. So I guess my next question for you is, what was boot camp like for you?
Okay, so here's a little backstory about me. So growing up, I was in cheerleading, dance, tap, jazz, ballet, theater. I was a show choir kid. I was a nerd, basically, but I loved to sing. I loved to dance and play piano and stuff. So that's what I was in. So basic training for me was rough. I'd never worn boots like that before. I actually ended up getting stress fractures up and down my legs. I also have a binary hip dysplasia now, which has not been fun because it's actually been acting up recently. So that's kind of disheartening for me because I will really probably never ever be able to dance the way that I used to. I actually used to be pretty good, I guess. But it was really rough. I mean, I lost several toenails. I had always had blisters on the backs of my feet because my feet just weren't ready for that. They just weren't.
Right.
I had never held a gun before basic training. And I will tell you this honestly, I'm not the greatest shot. I would much rather go to a range and do explosives. Just because the unit I was in the EOD unit, explosive ordnance disposal. But, over time, it's something that's actually become very therapeutic for me. So if I have a lot of frustration, that's a fun thing for me. So, but the only way I made it through basic training was from my battle buddies. Like, honestly, I mean, I can't even tell you how much they stuck in there because, I mean, there are times where my legs just would not work and we're on a, like a 12-mile rough or whatever you do at the very end. I mean, I didn't think I was going to make it. And it wasn't just, me giving up. I refused to give up, but my body just stopped working. So I'm very grateful to my battle buddies. And I'm still friends with a lot of them. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's one of those things that unfortunately I'm stuck with these injuries for the rest of my life. But it's kind of a good reminder of like how hard it was for me. It was not easy. And like I said, I mean, I didn't give up. I didn't quit or anything like that, but my body just gave out on me because it wasn't used to that type of impact.
Right.
So that was fun.
So boot camp was really hard on your body.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
But you made amazing friends, lifelong friends.
Yep. And I think everything negative should be turned into a positive, and everything negative that we may see in our lives can be turned into a lesson. So I think a lot of my grit that I have now too is from that. Like, I'm not going to give up. Like, I'm not going to disappoint. And a lot of it was, I'm not going to disappoint my brother. Like, he sent me and expected me to graduate. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't going to let him down. I wasn't going to let his name, go down in the dirt, basically.
Mm-hmm. It's really powerful and an excellent message to transmute, pain and negativity into positivity.
Life is short.
Mm-hmm.
Life is short. You just have to. Yeah, I think I got a lot of that from my mom. My mom is very positive about things, and my dad was always a very hard worker and stuff. So my mom just told me. My mom would write me notes in basic training and be like, "We're praying for you." I came from a very conservative Nazarene family. My parents were actually missionaries. I was born in Venezuela, so getting my security clearance for the United States government was real fun. Let me tell you.
I bet it was hard.
Yeah. So. I'm very grateful to my parents, the fact that they put that in me and they're like, you're not going to quit. Because I mean, I literally had the worst time. My drill sergeants would always be like, Bully, what are you doing? Are you okay? So,
yeah. Boot camp, it can be rough.
Oh, it
That's
can.
For sure. So after boot camp and you went on active, What was your experience like there? Tell me.
Oh my gosh. I cannot even tell you. The guys in my unit are so annoyed with me probably by now because I've literally talked about my unit a million times. So I was stationed at Fort Drum, New York with 760th EOD, with 63rd Ordnance Battalion. And so I got to Fort Drum by myself. Literally, I'm in Clark Hall, which is like the check-in or whatever. Some guy picks me up and goes, "You're the new one?" I'm like, "Yep." It's like, "Well, this will be fun. There's only one other female in our unit." But yeah, it was me and our admin chick. And she was just, I mean, she ran those guys like you would not believe. It was great.
Oh my goodness.
No, she really did. She told them where to be, whatever. It was so funny. But I literally cannot even tell you how grateful I am the fact that I got put with my unit, because those guys became my brother when my brother died, and also carried me through a lot of, growing pains as you're growing up. And I was 23 when I joined the military. So, you're 23, still trying to figure things out. They're still my best friends this day. We went to, we trained for almost 2 years and then went to Afghanistan, from 2011 to 2012. We were in the hottest district in the war. General Petraeus actually worked with us quite a bit. So that was really cool.
Wow.
I have a picture with him. I got to shoot his XM25.
Oh my goodness.
Which was really cool. Yeah, it was brand new to the country. So that was really cool. Just being, and I didn't realize it when I was there, like who I was actually around. But General Petraeus is awesome, by the way. I love that man because he really cares. He really cared about his soldiers and cared about, the overall well-being of them. Very knowledgeable. But I mean, back to my unit. I mean, we had a lot of casualties. We had a ton of casualties. In particular, I will talk about how Pinups for Vets kind of is why it's so important to me. So I had an NCO, and he's going to kill me for talking about him on this, but it's fine. His name was Kyle Vickers. He was a staff sergeant, and he was my first NCO. So
wait a second.
He didn't really.
Wait a second.
What?
Okay, I think hold on.
So I had a staff sergeant named Kyle Vickers, and I was his first. Like, he didn't really know what to do with me. It was so funny because he kept getting tasked out and going on, on trips and things like that. And so I was like, well, see you in 2 weeks. Good luck. Whatever. Figure it out. Anyways, so the reason why I like Pinup so much is because my first 2 weeks of me being in the unit, he gave me a magnet, which I still have to this day, of a pinup, like an ace card of a pinup, because he was really into pinups. And it was something I always carried with me because he was such an integral part of my life. Ended up being one of my very best friends. But so he had, like I said, he had a huge thing for pinups, whatever. This is in 2009, whatever, when I first got to the unit. So we deployed. Kyle when he went on R&R from Afghanistan, he got a tattoo of a pinup chick riding a bomb on his leg. Came back from the States back to Afghanistan, went out on a mission. 2 weeks later, he lost his leg in an explosion.
Oh my God.
With the tattoo.
Oh my God.
And the ongoing joke is that his leg and his tattoo are still in Afghanistan. Yeah, it's kind of, yeah. But anyway,
jokes about it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no. Like, and when I went to go see him in CAF in Kandahar Airfield, which they didn't even tell me who it was that had gotten injured because they knew I would get really upset. He's like, what are you doing here? And I was like, oh my gosh. And it just so happened that the lab that we worked with at the time for our, that we took a lot of our stuff to after missions and things like that, their theme was pinups. Mm-hmm. So they had limited edition pinup sweatshirts. And he didn't have any clothes and was getting ready to go to Germany. I called his mom, was like, hey, I'm trying to get Kyle some clothes because he doesn't have any, and he's going to Germany to see you because his mom was going to fly there and from California. Mm-hmm. And so I got him the last hoodie that they had, last one that they made. When he got to Germany, they cut it off. He was so mad. But ever since then, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna honor him in some way at some point. So Pinups for Vets came into my life about a year ago. Obviously, people have, heard the podcast with Gina. She's amazing. We ended up getting connected on Instagram, which Instagram, you'd be shocked the people that you meet. Oh my gosh.
I feel that way too.
Well, that's how we met.
Yes.
But anyway, and I was like, okay, this is a female veteran charity. It's pinups. Like, this is amazing. Mm-hmm. Well, it ended up being that the reason why I am so passionate about this organization is because I don't think anything happens for no reason. So there's a picture, I think it's November of the 2020 calendar, that says San Dimas. That is actually where Kyle Vickers is from, my friend that lost his leg in Afghanistan. Aww. And that was shot there. And the picture that I took was actually shot in Glendora. We had an EOD tech that lost his life 3 weeks after we came back to the States. Mm-hmm. That was actually from Glendora. So all, you know what I mean? Like, it's just there's no whatever. And I messaged his wife. It was like, hey, I was like, this is really weird. I don't, whatever. But everything just happens for a reason. And like the fact that I'm involved with Pinups for Vets and such an honor is just so huge. But I actually ended up doing a photo shoot for Vickers to raise money for the EOD Warrior Foundation, of me on a bomb, riding a bomb. Yeah. So that's going to be, I'm going to raise money for the EOD Warrior Foundation from that. It's in Pinup. It took 3 weeks to create. It was insane. My photographer was insane, but I'm like, Vickers became my brother. Like, he literally stepped in as my brother, and he's literally part of my family. He's slept on my parents' couch in Cincinnati multiple times. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm forever grateful to him. Sorry, I've stopped talking about my unit, but my first sergeant was like my dad, basically. He made sure that I was, okay. And, the guys in my unit are amazing, and I love all of them, and we've all gone our separate ways. But, the fact is whenever I see them, where somebody's getting married or whatever, it's like, we're just back to how it used to be. That's and beautiful. Yeah. And man, I had such a great experience with them. And Fort Drum is not fun unless you like to ski or you like to drink wine, because it doesn't snow for 3 months out of the year. The rest of the year it snows. So pick your poison. But yeah, we always had fun, and I was like their little sister. I'm still like their little sister. But it was just such an honor to be part of such a great unit. And we had a really rough deployment. Really rough deployment. What
were some of the things that happened?
Like I said, we had a guy that lost both of his legs, and some other body parts. His name is Aaron Causey, and his wife is the most amazing person as far as an advocate for me, being a female in the unit. She stuck by me all the time. Like, is my biggest cheerleader. We're still great friends. We had multiple injuries. It's just, I don't want to get into it, but I didn't sleep. That's where I got insomnia from. So I really don't sleep anyway. But
you guys saw so much action.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we were actually there 3 weeks. We were in Afghanistan for 3 weeks, and then Osama bin Laden got killed. Wow. And of course, everybody thought, oh my gosh, you guys are coming home now. No, we still have a mission here.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but I'm forever grateful for that unit. Yeah. And I'm sure I owe them a lot of beer now because I talked about them on national radio.
Well, I don't know if this is national radio, but it may get heard, and they probably will be mad at you.
They're gonna know. Do you know how much beer I owe them in between Pinups for Vets and like everything else? I mean, it's insane. Because Pinups for Vets was actually on Fox News. So
yeah.
I mean, I owe them a lot of beer. I really do.
Said like a true veteran.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So what was so after you came back, what was that like?
So then I decided that I was going to, it was like either go to an E5 board, or get out. And at that point I knew my brother was pretty bad off. And so I was in New York, and, I wanted to spend as much time with him as I could. So I decided to move back to Cincinnati. And my, ex-husband, actually, we were still together at that point. The decision was to move back to Cincinnati. I was back in Cincinnati, had started my job. I just got into insurance because it was like, okay, I just need to get a job. You know what I mean? Like I was a claims adjuster, worst job.
Yeah.
But 3 weeks later, my brother got dropped on his head in his nursing home and was dead 2 weeks later.
Oh my God.
And then my divorce happened, which I'm actually very thankful for. And yeah, so lots of stuff just happened all at once.
I can imagine. How did you cope with that stuff?
I was around a lot of my family at that point, so that was good. I mean, I was just staying busy and just kind of, getting involved in veteran organizations. I got involved with the USO in Cincinnati, which is amazing. As well as I ended up, that's when I started kind of my search for like veteran employment. Like a year later, I ended up getting recruited for Sears hiring initiative for veterans.
Oh, wow.
And I moved to Chicago from there. And I've been here for, 5 years. Get ready to leave.
So, yes, I know you're moving soon. So tell me, okay, so what year was it that you got out?
I got out in 2017 out of all, I was in the reserves for 4 years after my active duty. I moved back to Cincinnati in 2013. Yeah. So, yeah.
So what was your transition like? Because you had a lot of awful things going on with your marriage and your brother.
It was terrible. It was so bad because, first of all, when you get out of the military, I'm a firm believer of this, they check the boxes off for you. They're like, all right, you showed up. Here's your paperwork. We're going to stamp it. Good luck. I mean, it's like no wonder so many, especially female veterans, have an issue with getting out of the military because there's no direction. Right. Absolutely no direction.
Absolutely.
And it's like, your females are just different. We're different and yes, we're amazing people and we're strong and things like that, but we're just different. And so I was pretty lost in the sauce. And my insurance job sucked because it's like they didn't know what to do with me because they had never really hired a veteran before. And going into that workforce was just like, you know what I mean? Because when you're a veteran, you ask different questions and things like that. And then dealing with all my family stuff and everything else on top of it, it was just not fun for me. But I take a lot of that, what I learned during that time of transitioning into my life now and why I'm so passionate about helping female veterans in particular, not get put in that same situation.
Right. So, you feel like helping veterans has really helped you? Would you say that?
My gosh, you have no idea. It's an ongoing joke. I literally eat, sleep, and breathe veterans.
I know.
I'm getting ready to launch my own brand. Can't really talk about it yet, but that you guys can follow me on Instagram, and then when it launches, you guys can turn on your post notifications, and you guys will be the ones to know about it, but it's a work in progress right now. But I've been a loan officer. I've been a VA loan officer, specifically loan officer. I'm still actually licensed. And that was one thing I loved because I got to work with a lot of Vietnam veterans that didn't trust anybody else. Right. Didn't trust anybody else. And they would always look at me like, well, you're a girl. I'm like, yeah, here's some pictures from my deployment. Right. But just being able to sit down and talk to them and like really getting to know them, because people don't understand your mortgage is a huge thing. It's not just sign a dot here. Okay, here's your mortgage. Like, there you go. It's a huge life altering situation. And you have to build trust with you. You have to build trust with your borrowers. You also have to build education with them so they know what they're doing. And I'm kind of an anal, I'm just an anal person when it comes to paperwork because I don't ever want to sign anything that the government sees that could be wrong. I feel that. It's just like people would make fun of me in my office. What's taking so long about loan application? Well, I'm not signing anything that isn't right.
And I'm going to read every single line.
Yes, yeah. And plus I think that makes you better as not just a loan officer, but a salesperson too. So the people that that are using your services are, they understand that you understand. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I think that goes with a lot of things.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something people can take all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I guess my next question for you is, how did you overcome the obstacles that you faced getting out of the military? Was it purely helping other veterans? Because I know that's what helped me.
Yeah, I think so. And just kind of finding like being sick. I think like throwing myself into work 100% and just knowing that I'm helping people. Like I said, it didn't matter with the money and stuff like that. I never did any job that I've ever had for the monies in particular. Right. But it's just being a person that, my borrowers always knew what was going on with their loans. Like they would call me at 3:00 in the morning and because I don't sleep, I would pick up because they also are working weird work schedules and stuff like that. And it's like, well, I want to be accommodating because the reason why I became a loan officer also is because I had a really bad experience coming out of the military and trying to use my own VA loan because I had a realtor that had no clue as to what she was talking about. Ran me through 10 different houses that would not even fit the VA guidelines. Right. It's just like, so I wasted a crap ton of money and time. I'm like, I don't want anybody else to have to, deal with that type of stuff. So you learn from your experiences and make that into your life as something, better that you can help other people.
I love that. So tell me, okay, what you've got so much stuff going on right now.
I know. That's what everybody says. My dad always says, he's like, I need like I actually have here at home, I actually have a huge whiteboard that I'm always jotting down ideas and things like that.
Room.
Yeah, it is my war room and it looks ridiculous. It's just nobody would ever be able to figure out what was on it, which is good because I have a lot of secret projects going on. Just kidding. But I'm always thinking the ongoing joke is my brain works twice as fast as what, like what I'm able to write. So if I don't write it down, then I forget it. Thank you, deployment. But yeah, no, I have a lot of stuff going on. And it's kind of hard to explain to people everything that I've got going on because I'm going in 50 different directions at all times. I really need a clone of myself, I think. Not really. God help the world if that happens.
So can you tell us some of the things that you have going on?
Yes. Well, obviously, Pinups for Vets, I'm a huge supporter of. If you guys do not have a calendar, I actually purchased quite a few calendars myself, and I've been signing them and sending them to people personalized. Contact me. You can DM me. I'd love to send you a calendar. It's literally minimal fee. I just charge you the $15, which is what the calendar is itself, and then the postage. That's it. And all that money is already paid towards Pinup for Vets charity. So, yeah, so this upcoming year should be pretty busy with that.
Again, she's December 2020.
I am December 2020, and that's such a big deal because my birthday's in December, and no one remembers it. Aww. So on my no joke, on my calendars, I actually write my birthday. I'm like, somebody's going to remember this birthday.
When is your birthday?
The 11th of December.
Aw. How does everyone forget that?
Because everybody's too busy going to their office parties and getting snowed in at random places. I mean, it's just okay. It's just awful. So I was very excited about that. Gina actually surprised me with that, and I cried.
She's so sweet.
I cried for like an hour. Like, I'm not joking. But Pinup for Vets is so much more to me because it really brought me out of a really dark time in my life. Went through some really bad experiences as far as a relationship that I was in. I won't get into really big details, but basically, I would not ever want anyone to experience what I felt. And female veterans are prime candidates for this type of relationship as far as, just, not being held at like the value that we are. Mm-hmm. And so if anybody's struggling with that type of thing, please feel free to reach out to me. I was pretty much alone by myself for an entire year, at my house. I had no one. I wasn't really allowed to talk to people, especially about this and how I was feeling and things like that. I kind of had to bring myself. I had to use my inner brother and pull myself out of the hole that I was in. It was not easy for me. I was by myself. I spent a lot of holidays alone. And, spent a lot of time basically feeling bad. But I'm very thankful that I'm on this other side of it. So like I said, if anybody's struggling with that type of, any type of relationship, issues that, you feel like, I don't know, you guys can just reach out to me. I'll talk to pretty much anybody.
Would you say that you felt like it was maybe some type of narcissism or some type of like an abuse situation?
Yep.
Or maybe just controlling?
Narcissism, yes, all of that. Mm-hmm. And, it's one of those things that it was awful. I was a very successful loan officer going in, and was made to quit my job. Was told all these things, promised all these things. I'm very grateful for the experiences that I did get to have. I got to go to a lot of great vacations and things like that, but still none of that would ever replace actually being present with somebody and being their partner in crime and being somebody to talk to at all times. And I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I'm perfect at all because I'm not. I made a lot of mistakes. But if anybody's feeling like they're in that space, please feel free to reach out to me because you are not alone. You really are not alone. And trust me, I cried. I can't even tell you how many days I cried in a row, just because I didn't know how to get out of it. And
honey.
Yeah, but the good news is I'm on the up and up, and Pinup for Vets really helped me with that. So I'm forever grateful to Gina for that.
Such a beautiful soul.
She's amazing. But I just, it's one of those things that you live and you learn. And so my time here is to help other women and, to empower other women. And we're just different and we need different things. And I actually worked for a veteran homeless shelter for a long time. And trying to explain to a civilian why a veteran needs something different is hard. It's really hard. It's really difficult. And a lot of times they don't understand, and it makes you more frustrated than anything. And so I am, I just, I'm here for you guys. Please feel free to reach out and don't feel like you're alone. And I hope that, you guys have a little bit different situation, where you're at, that you're not completely alone. I mean, it was awful. I spent Christmas and New Year's, or Christmas and Christmas Eve by myself last year.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Completely alone. Yeah. But here's what I think. It made me stronger, and it made me realize the things that I value.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I'm moving on with my life. And yeah, I'm just, you know, I just want people to know, just please don't give up. Please don't give up. You have people who love you, even people that don't even know you, that, you know, you don't know who you're going to meet until you meet them. And what if you weren't there to meet that person that you're supposed to meet?
Right.
You just never know.
And if you're feeling really bad and you take a time to reach out to someone, you can always go back to feeling bad the next day.
Absolutely.
But try to reach out. Try that conversation, because it could change your life, you know? And
part of another thing, a project that I just got added onto, which really hasn't been publicized as much, is called, it's a veteran suicide prevention program that my dear friend Conrad just spent 4 years producing. I mean, this program is just insane, but it's basically preventing people from, it's an 8-layer form. So a lot of what happens, people in the military, they make a mistake, they get kicked out. This looks at why the person made a mistake first before they get discharged. What is going on in the background? What can we do to help them? You know, it's not saying that they won't get kicked out, but it's just saying, what can we do to you know, help them, you know, whether readapt to society or whatever. But it's going to be such a huge thing, and I can't wait to talk more about it with him. I'm actually going to be doing a podcast with him the next few weeks. Just kind of really talking about it. I'm the first female to get added to that too.
That's incredible.
I like to be the pioneer of things. I think it's fun, and especially since there's really nothing I won't talk about, which is good. But I'm also very blunt, kind of sometimes a little too blunt. I don't do those fluffy emails. So I really don't. Like, I had a boss one time that I was like, here's my email, very to the point, add the fluff. Because I just don't do the fluff very well. I always say please and thank you. I'm very nice that way, but anything else, like, that's my military background and also being in a unit full of 42 other dudes, 42 dudes, you just, you know, you don't do much fluff. So,
adapt to that.
Yeah. But the project it's called, Project Shot at Dawn. I'll actually have it on my Instagram here the next few days. It's really cool. Hopefully we can be a tool to reduce veteran suicide.
That's critical right now.
Yeah, that's critical, especially since some of us are feeling, you know, some of us feel bad about where we're at. And it's like, I cannot even tell you guys, you're not alone. You are not alone. You have strangers like me. I promise I'll be your friend, and you that will call you, that will talk to you, that will help you. But you also have to understand is if you can't just give up and not help yourself, you know, go for a jog, adopt a dog. Like, I have a German Shepherd puppy that he just turned 1. He's crazy, but I mean, he's helped me so much. Yes. Yes. We are friends forever. And, you know, just see what you can do in your life to help yourself. I say that specifically because I felt bad. Like, oh my gosh, I hate my life, you know, like, you know, but a lot of that time I was looking at what other opportunities do I have to make my situation better.
I love that you said that. I love that you said that, because sometimes when you're down in that low point, looking up, like trying to figure out how you're going to figure your life out and move forward, it just takes one thing, that one choice, to say, what else is out there for me? You know, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to find what is going to fulfill me, or what is going to change my perspective, or what's going to, you know, add some joy to my life. What can I do? One little thing. And that could be going outside for a walk, going in nature, or for me, it was turning on YouTube and finding a bunch of inspirational videos to watch. And it helped me slowly change my mindset from being very depressed and not knowing what I was going to do, to going, okay, you know what? These people can do it. I can do it. How did they do it now? Okay, that's how they did it. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to follow the steps and pull myself out of this despair. And so I definitely feel that.
And my poor friends, like my best friend Jen, she's so sick of me talking about the same stuff over and over again. Because she would be like, Jess, get your head out of your butt. Get yourself together. I mean, she's like my sister. She's an incredible person. She helped shape my military career a lot as well. She's just an incredible person. And, I think about all the times that I listen to her and I still stay in the situation I was in. It's like, God, if I would have just gotten out of it when it was going on at that point, how much farther along would I be? But at the same time, I wouldn't have all these other things that came along my way and opportunities I may not, have time for. And
you can't beat yourself up for that, though.
Yeah, no.
You can't do that. I mean, the point is you have formed a new life for yourself. You're moving forward. You've got all these great opportunities for you. And now you're helping other people and you're willing to. And that's the thing that I love about you, because I always see you helping people like nonstop. It's
if you even knew the background of like crap that I do, but like, and this isn't putting myself on a pedestal. Like, you knew the like people that I'm always like connecting on Instagram and stuff like that. It's just like, it's exhausting, but it's like, I can't help it. You know what I mean? Because if you see a need, help those people. Absolutely. And I look at, and I could be bitter because a lot of people just turn their back on me. People who I thought were my friends and things like that really weren't. And it's like, it's like I could have that mentality. It's like, you know what? Nobody helped me. Da, 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 da. I could have that mentality. The problem is my business manager, Jeff, he actually tells me that I need to slow down and stop helping so many people because it puts me behind. But it's just in my nature. Like, it's just my parents have always been like that. And so, my parents,
they were missionaries.
My parents would give me their last dime if they had it, but that's just the type of household that I grew up in. I grew up actually feeding my brother because he couldn't hold a spoon. It's like, you see a need, help somebody. Don't just sit there and be like, oh, poor them. I hope they figure it out. Like, no, especially as female veterans, we need to band together and help each other, because it is a craptastic world and people don't understand us, and we all come from different walks of life, but we are strong people and we just have to help each other.
Absolutely. So. And that is exactly why I started this podcast. Yep. That is exactly why I reach out to female veterans every single day and
support the female veteran businesses, people. My God.
Absolutely. Yes.
Support them. Like, it doesn't take anything for you to repost their stuff. That's probably, sorry, I'm not going to go off on a tangent, but that's the most aggravating thing I've seen. I repost people's stuff all the time. They never repost me. And what people don't understand about reposting stuff on your story is you never know who's going to see that from your story that wouldn't have seen it from mine.
Agree.
And who we can help. When it all comes down to it, we're not competitors, people. We are all in this together.
We're on the same team. We're in the same unit. Now it's the female veteran unit.
We are a lady gang.
That's right. We're a girl gang. And we're going to go and make positive change in the world, help each other thrive, and live our best lives. And that's what this podcast is about. And I'm glad you made that point here. So. Well, I have one last question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what advice, and I know you've said amazing things here, tons of advice actually through the whole episode, but what last gem of advice can you leave our veteran sisters who are coming up behind you in order to thrive in life?
I think that you need to have any type of venture that you do outside the military, you need to have a positive group of business individuals of all different backgrounds which I have a very great, I have one of the sickest networks in the entire world. That's what I always say. Of just like business people. If you guys want some more information, please shoot me a DM. I'm not joking. These people changed my life. Like, have opened so many more doors for me. I'm a really good networker as it is, but have just opened so many doors for me, and I'm not selling their stuff, but it's not an MLM either, people. But it is just so crucial getting out in the work environment, no matter what you're doing. If you're a nurse, if you're a teacher, if you're selling cars, if you're a loan officer, if you're a hairdresser, you need to have a positive business group that will push you. Because getting out of the military, people are like, I'm out, all that military training that you have will go out the window one day. I mean, for like a second. And you're going to need somebody to pull you back in and be like, no, don't give up. This may be difficult right now, but keep going.
Keep going.
I said, DM me about that stuff. I cannot even tell you about how amazing these people are. I'm not going to say their name because I want you guys, if you're seriously interested in growing not only your business, but your life in general, definitely DM me about that. Also, know the red flags in a relationship. I would also say, seriously, take some time to read a book called The Love Languages. It helps a lot. Yeah, it helps a lot, like knowing about yourself as well as your partner. Mm-hmm. Also, look for the red flags. And I'm saying this seriously. As someone who is begging you guys to do seriously, look at the red flags in a relationship. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. If you guys want more information, shoot me a DM. But I'm a firm believer in helping female veterans as a whole. Mm-hmm. Also, check out Lead and Empowerment. It's called She Talks. I was actually just the guest speaker last month in San Antonio. Oh. They're actually getting ready to have the next one in Nashville, and the ladies who run it are absolutely amazing. So I'll actually put that up on my Instagram as well. You guys can take a look at that. It's definitely worth your time. It literally helped me kind of get over a hump as far as like getting myself back together. I'm a puzzle piece. I'm still working on putting myself all the way back together, but
we're all a work in progress, girl.
God help people when I'm all the way back together, because
I can't wait.
Oh, it's gonna be great. You're gonna know too.
I know.
My friends, well, a lot of my friends over the last couple of years have been like, "What on earth happened to you?" Because I went from being such a strong on top of my game chick to being not. And so
it can happen to the best of us, though.
Yeah. And don't feel bad if it does happen. Don't feel bad if it does happen to you, because all that is just going to make you so much better. And just remember to be nice to people. Be nice to people. You don't know what people are going through. Mm-hmm. And you also don't ever know if you're going to see that person again. Mm-hmm. I see people from all across the world on my vacations. It's insane. Of like that I've met before, whether it be deployment or, in college. Like I was in Punta Cana a couple years ago, saw a girl I used to lifeguard with in Cincinnati, of all places. Like,
it's crazy.
Just being kind to people and learn stuff from people and ask questions. Just don't be catty, don't gossip. Just help build each other up, because
right.
I didn't have that, and it sucks.
Well, that's why we're forming this sisterhood, so that we can support each other when maybe the person that's right next door to you doesn't have your back. We will. And actually, I have built a community on Facebook. It is the Female Veterans Podcast community, the sisterhood. And you can join into there and add your comments and support each other there just as well. So check that out on Facebook. And now, where can we find you? You mentioned Instagram a bunch.
Yes.
What is your Instagram?
It is Jessica, JESSICA, NB312. Like I said, I'm getting ready to launch my own brand within this next month. So I'll have more stuff too. You also can find me on Facebook as well. My name is Jessica Bowling on there. It's probably better to look on my email though. It's jessica.n.bowling@us.usarmy.org or mil. I don't remember.
Well, send it to me, and I'll put it in the show notes.
Perfect.
And then
yeah, reach out to me on there. I'm much more active on Instagram than I am on my Facebook now, just because of the training that I've had with my business network. I've met so many connections on Instagram that, oh my gosh, I wish I could put a monetary value on there, but I can't, because it's just opportunities that have opened themselves for me. Where else can you find me? You can find me on the Pinups for Vets website. Please, if you guys are interested in calendar, please reach out to me. Like I said, I've already purchased quite a few myself, and I'd be happy to personalize it or for someone for Christmas. Also, please, I also am the first female ambassador for American Trigger Pullers. It is a veteran-owned apparel company owned by a bunch of Rangers, and they do fantastic work. There should be a female line coming out prototype at least in the next month or so, that I'm designing. Because let's be serious, cool. we women want to wear cool stuff. Mm-hmm. And I gave them that harebrained idea, and so they're like, whatever, Jess, that's fine. So anyway, but it gives me something to be excited about. Also, where else can you find me? Gosh. Project Shot at Dawn. I'll have you put that in there. That's, guys, if you have somebody that's getting ready to either let go out of the military, somebody literally just got out of the military, or dealing with some type of suicide, please reach out to me. Oh my gosh.
Big time.
I don't care who it is. I don't care. Like, we as veterans, it doesn't mean if you're male or female, whatever, like, just reach out. Like, and don't one thing that really makes me mad, and I'm just gonna be honest, is people say, well, I guess I'm just gonna, in my life right now, like, stop that crap. If you need help, ask for it. Mm-hmm. Don't, everybody does it differently. I get it, but don't make people feel like, they're going to be sitting on the edge of their seats for another 15 minutes waiting to see if you're still going to be there. Ask for help, people. Ask for it. Stop the dramatic, and this may hurt people's feelings, but stop the dramatics and ask for it. I've asked for it. I'm in therapy about my relationship I was in. I asked for it, and I'm getting help. And there's so many veterans out there that want help, but we don't know unless you ask.
Mm-hmm. That is a very good.
Sorry if that was a little brash, but it's just,
you're good.
We all go through crap. We all have bad days. If you need help, ask for it. Where else can you find me? Oh gosh, I guess that's it for now. Oh, okay. American Trigger Puller. Sorry, you can use my code VET2BLONDE for 15% off your first purchase. If you make a purchase, send me a screenshot of it. I will send you extra stuff in there.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that discount code with the listeners of the Female Veterans Podcast. I appreciate that. It's awesome. So you guys check that out for sure. Check her out on her Instagram. And if you are a veteran who is struggling or who knows someone who is struggling, reach out to her. If you are a female veteran in some type of narcissistic or abusive or somewhat abusive, unhappy relationship, reach out to this woman. And
I would love to talk to you.
And there you have it. And with that, I'm going to wrap this up. So thank you, Jessica, for coming on and sharing your story and being such a beacon of hope and beacon of light to survive situations that are unhappy and miserable and unpleasant, and showing us how to find the strength to move forward with our lives and to get focused on good projects that will help us thrive.
Yes, there's always projects out there. There's always people that need help, guys. Just find something. Trust me, it'll be there.
And thank you again for everything you do for the veteran community, both male and female. You're always grinding. You're always hustling. You're such like a joy and a wonderful person, and someone that's like a kindred spirit to me that just feels the need to help and show care and show compassion.
Well,
and show
thank
love.
you.
Yeah,
thank you for getting this group of women together that can depend on each other and can help each other grow, not only in our post-military time, but also our business lives and our personal lives and relationships and kids and, everything else. I don't have any children, but they seem great.
It's all of that.
Your kids seem great.
Thank you. They are all over the place. All the time.
I love it. That's how kids should be.
But I love
running
them.
around.
Yeah, right. So again, thank you so much for coming. And
thank you. It's been an honor.
Oh, thank you. With that, I am going to wrap this up. So I want to say to all the listeners, thank you so much for sticking with me on this journey and listening and supporting these wonderful, heroic female veterans. I appreciate you so much. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next time.